Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Dreamers Podcast. My guest today, Dirty Face, a young artist. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
My name is Dirty Face, aka Mathis. I might change my name, I don't know. But I'm a young artist on Instagram, everywhere, Twitter, all that stuff. Mainly do digital art, but I'm trying to progress into traditional art. You know what I'm saying? Just I make everything, man. All that stuff. Trying to get into custom clothes too. So I don't know.
So yeah, that's kind of one of the big reasons that I really got into art and kind of creating this podcast, because I really got into it because I'm into rap music and stuff, and so that's huge into clothes and art, and that culture is kind of all intertwined. And so originally, I'm a entrepreneurial business major student, and so this podcast was originally a clothing company, sustainable clothing, and wanted to do something like that. But then I realized I'm not an artist or graphic designer, so I decided to do this instead, and then maybe do clothes later on down the line. So I'm definitely super interested in all that kinds of stuff. So that's really cool that you want to do that. And I mean, I think
Yeah,
a lot of
definitely.
people do it, and they can do crazy,
I,
crazy stuff. It's a lot more than just putting
Yeah,
a graphic
that's
on a
where
T-shirt.
where a large percentage of Instagram artists and designers I feel mess it up at, because if I had a penny for someone or time I went on Instagram, I just saw a random mock up of a T-shirt and just a design someone made up in Photoshop 5 minutes, and it's just a rip off of VLone or something like that. I'd probably be very rich right now, because it's there's a lot of bad designs on Instagram. Because I feel with fashion, it's kind of it's progressed into a state where anyone can do it, which is kind of a blessing but a curse at the same time, because everyone's not a designer. So it's kind of it's not worrying, because at the end of the day, people going people will always eventually return back to real art, regardless. Real designers, real creatives will always win at the end of the day, regardless if it's art, fashion, film, business, whatever. So that's something I always keep in my mind. Like, real art at the end of the day will always progress, if that makes sense.
So yeah, you can definitely do crazy. Just hire different artists and stuff, put their graphic on a
Just blow off
T-shirt,
of
and you
that.
can do, have
Yeah.
tens of thousands, 100,000 followers, make a huge brand out of it. But I definitely think the people that really take it to the next level and do more than just T-shirts or more than just basic stuff. That's the people that I'm really interested in, not just because of the clothes, because of what I think they're gonna do.
Yeah.
5-10 years from now, and kind of more work on shifting the culture and changing that rather than just.
One of my favorite creators right now is probably Reno Studios on IG. Bro, I followed that man since he dropped the what's it called? The not even
The
before that, it was
mock-up pack?
when he did the card commission. And bro, I just know I really bro, this man drew a portrait of Fredo Santana using Alfredo sauce. I said, yeah, he's different. He's different. He's probably gonna do, he's different. I just knew that at that point. That's what I love seeing. I love seeing people do things that are weird, do things that are you don't see it a lot in the culture. That's why I love Virgil Abloh, rest in peace. He always pushed the boundaries of what's seen as normal. He was putting bread tags on Jordan ones. You don't see it all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I'll always appreciate the innovators, no matter what. I grew up listening to Kanye West and Pharrell, so innovation comes normal to me. You know what I'm saying? Type things.
So yeah, Reno,
Big fan.
huge. I love Reno. Yeah, I've been following him since probably even. I mean, it was a little before that the Fredo thing, but yeah, that was genius. Doing that, and then all the stuff he's done, the mock-up packs to help other creators with high quality scans of stuff. Hoping to get him
Most
on the
definitely.
podcast one day. But yeah, he's definitely someone that I think is trying to push the culture and all the stuff he posts on his feed and all his stories and stuff. I have a lot of screenshots of my phone of some
Nah,
little knowledge he drops. Even though he's the same
yeah.
age as me, he's a college student. He's definitely someone that I think in a few years from now is gonna be
Yeah, up there.
at the forefront of everything. Yeah, he's crazy. But to kind of talk about how did you get started in art, and how did you kind of create your style and get into that?
All right, so basically, I started drawing. I've been drawing ever since I was born. Basically, I think I started picking up my pencils when I was like 2 years old, and I was like scribbling on like tissues and notepads and stuff like that around the
Mm-hmm.
house. And when I was like 5 years old, I think I had my entire like bedroom like covered in drawings. Like I got beat up for that all the time, but like it was still like I was kind of always drawing and always sketching things. So my mom bought me a notepad every like 2 months as a kid. So I always like got to no 2 weeks actually every 2 weeks like I knew a new notepad, and that from there I just kept drawing my entire like ever since then. But recently I think I started my IG page when quarantine started basically.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I was following people like Codone or for like a long time. I wanted to get into that, and I couldn't afford like a drawing tablet then, and I didn't have like a super fancy tablet or like a computer drawing. So I just used my iPhone. I used my little XR, and I didn't have a stylus. So I used my I'm like half the things on my page are draw my finger. I draw my finger all the time.
Uh-huh.
So that was like it took a while for me to figure out how to like make it look good with my finger. Pause.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to the inspirations, probably um, I grew up listening, like I said, I grew up listening to a lot of Kanye West, Pharrell, Clips. So and they
Mm-hmm.
used a lot of like art from Takashi Murakami, Cause. So I got into my young age, and I just been like studying off them. Plus anime, like Dragon Ball Z. Akira Toriyama is one of my favorite mangaka. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Older too. I like his art style a lot. It's very goofy and childish like that.
Yeah.
Um, Artists like Banksy, uh, Ralph Steadman. He made the cover for the Travis Scott and Quavo project.
Oh yeah, that
Um,
one's really cool. I'll
I
check
love
it.
that project a lot. Who else? Like this is like just everything. Honestly, I just like because I always like in what's the word? I always looked at art all the time. Like as a kid, I wasn't always embraced a lot of art. I was like looking at like whether it be like cartoons, anime, street art, graffiti. Growing up in Atlanta, every building is like had graffiti on it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And it's like graffiti, anime, cartoons, fashion. I just like embraced and like kept looking and studying art my entire life. So that's how I got into it. Just like getting the phone and going crazy,
Uh-huh.
basically.
See that was a crazy thing because I didn't mention it yet, but you're the one that did the logo for the podcast.
Yeah,
So that was really cool working with you for that because like I didn't know what I was doing.
most
I just
definitely.
kind of had an idea, and you killed it, and you were awesome to work with. So I really
Yeah, you
appreciate
know.
you for that. That was really dope. But when I didn't know how you your process. Most people have an iPad and Procreate or drawing tablets or whatever. And then a few weeks ago, I just remember you posting on your story that you do most of your stuff with your finger on an iPhone. And I was like,
Yeah.
what? That's crazy to
Everyone
me.
always gets like wild when I
Cause
say that. I
uh
didn't
huh
think it was that crazy, honestly.
uh
Like I
huh
thought everyone did it, honestly.
yeah, cause I have an iPad and stuff that I got like for kind of like to use as a laptop for school, and then
Mm-hmm.
I had COVID money, so like I bought an Apple Pencil, and like I got
Yeah.
Procreate because it's like $10, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try to do stuff.
I remember asking my mom for Apple Pen and like an iPad. She was like, "Yo, no!" Like it
Yeah, yeah,
was during COVID. Like, nah,
it's it's pricey. Like if
yeah.
COVID didn't happen, I would not have this right now. But
Like even now, I have a little like a Microsoft Go to
hmm
Surface Go to. There is no Procreate on this thing at all. I just use like this weird app called Fresh Paint
uh huh,
to draw now. I mean, it's cool, but it's just like this is a big milestone for me. I can lie to you. So like,
yeah,
it's just things,
hmm
evolution
yeah.
type stuff.
So I mean, you've been able to do crazy stuff just with the phone. So I mean, that's
Yeah.
crazy. I can't imagine just on that size of a screen and with your finger, even without even a stylus. Like it's
Hard to
crazy
get
some of
used
the
to.
stuff.
Because it's like my uncle bought me an actual drawing tablet. It's a Huion, and I couldn't use it because I was so used to drawing my finger for so long. So I just like had to stop using this like $80 tablet to go back to my phone to
Uh huh.
draw on. It's just like it was a funny transition.
hmm
I still want to learn how to use like a tablet though, but right now, yeah. And right now, I'm even trying to get into like more. I've always done traditional work. Like I've always painted and like
hmm
sketched all that stuff. I'm trying to get into posting more because I'm traditional work. It didn't look. It didn't like I don't. It probably did, but in my eyes, it didn't look quite like as finalized as I wanted it to all the time. Like I always wanted to have my own style with it, and I think I'm finally getting to that point where I can like have a distinguishable style when it comes to my art.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad for that, but I'll probably keep practicing more. Most definitely.
So yeah, I one of your most recent posts, the Angles and Devils, the watercolor one. That's
Yeah,
probably my favorite thing I've ever seen you do. That one is crazy. I love the colors on that, the idea. And then I think you did another watercolor one just the other day.
yeah, the two little figures. It was like the orange and green one. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So I really like that, and I can kind of see over time like how your style's kind of
hmm
evolved and you kind of done more stuff. So
yeah.
that's
It's
really
always like
cool.
I'm having people like contact me now talking about some like, hey yo, I got this drawing you archive like 2 years ago.
Uh huh.
Like how'd you get that? Like how'd you you've been here for a long time for that to happen? But I appreciate that. Like it's so it's so like so surreal to have people like tell you like, hey yo, you have eras. Like you're like that's wild to me.
Mm-hmm. And then you mentioned that you're like kind of from the Atlanta area, and so
hmm
obviously we've kind of talked about like rap and stuff a little bit. And then you kind of mentioned how like you've seen graffiti and all that stuff. Kind of that kind of helped influence you and got you into
Most
that.
definitely.
But so then I mean I know you've posted a lot of like Cardi stuff and and a bunch of other rappers and stuff. So how has music really? I mean obviously not just hip hop, but like do
hmm
you listen to music while you work? Do you like
Most
is that like a
definitely.
huge process and like how does kind of music tie into it?
I mean, yeah, I've listened to music my entire life. Like, it wasn't always rap. Like, I grew up listening to like a lot. My mom was always like into soul, R&B, and
Mm-hmm.
just like rock music, weirdly enough. So I always had music playing around the house, and I was into like I was a nerd as a kid. I was like a huge nerd as a kid. So I listened to like dumb like EDM shit and
Uh-huh.
future bass mixed with like soul and R&B and like that. So I always had different genres of music playing around me as a kid. And I got into rap music when I was like 7, 8ish.
Mm-hmm.
So, being from Atlanta, it was like that's when mainly people like Young Thug were popping off. Birdman was popping off.
Yeah.
Birdman, like the entire like Rich Gang era. It's like Rich Homie Quan, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's popping off when I was like in like fourth, third grade, which is crazy. So hearing that, so it really like opened my eyes to what certain genres could be and could become, and just to like just seeing how they people like Young Thug and like
Mm-hmm.
Rich Homie Quan like elevate their respective art form. It always
Mm-hmm.
inspired me to like innovate more. You know what I'm saying? And just being from Atlanta, period, which is full of art. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Atlanta's definitely. I mean, it's honestly up there with like New York and LA for like
hmm
rap and culture. I mean, there's so many people out of there, and like Young Thug especially. Like I love Young Thug. Like I remember when I first was getting into
yeah,
rap, and had heard like my first Young Thug song, and I was like, what is this? Like,
because
uh, it was like
it's such like
unintelligible. I had
yeah.
no idea what was going on. I
Like
was
I
like,
feel like when everyone heard the verse from what was it the
the
what was the song the
yeah,
living living what was
that's
the
yeah,
song
that's the
called
one. That's the one. That's the one.
Lifestyle.
Yeah,
When everyone
lifestyle.
I feel like when everyone heard that song in the first time, it was like a shock on the culture.
Yeah.
Like no one knew what was happening for it. Like everyone was like, "Yo, who is this person?" Like we had to figure out like what is he saying. Like
Uh,
I remember I saw a Genius article. It was like, "Yo, a literal like linguist, like someone who gets paid
yeah.
for this shit, is like
Yeah.
saying, yo, this is like insane. Like
Uh-huh.
this is like next level book, like next level stuff."
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was like it's crazy to me. It's like seeing how far you take art
Mhm.
form.
Mhm. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's crazy because when I first saw it, when I was kind of first getting into rap and stuff, and that was completely crazy different from anything I'd ever heard, and then kind of get more into him and like I love Jeffrey, his album Jeffrey. Like I love
I love
that.
Jeffrey a
Like
lot.
on my iPad, my background is the Jeffrey cover. I love that
Amazing
cover.
cover, by the way.
The dress. I think it's incredible. And then everything else he's done, like Punk, I really liked his new album. Uh,
Bro. I'm mad because like, bro, I like punk a lot, and it just came and went. Because, bro,
yeah.
I'm like, I get why people didn't like appreciate the album more because it's
Hmm.
like you can't play a song like Dice on the radio, but it's just
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's just a great album. I
Y-
wish it could stay longer, but
Yeah.
I always can listen to it whenever I want to, so I ain't mad at it.
So yeah, I definitely was. pretty excited for it. And then yeah, I had heard some of the like songs he did, like an NPR concert, Tiny Desk thing.
Yeah.
And that was when I was really like, oh, okay, this is really good.
Yeah,
And
like
then yeah,
bro, Hate the Game is one of like my favorite things ever right now. Hate
mm-hmm,
the Game is a crazy song. Like that hook alone was like infectious. Like
mm-hmm.
borderline infectious.
Yeah, I really like Die Slow, and I can't remember the others
That's
because
so
it's been a
amazing.
minute. But yes, there's some songs on there that I'm like, oh my god,
It
it's making
hurts.
me
Like yeah, like
feel like.
I'm crying. I'm crying. Thug tears. It's crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely think Atlanta, is crazy
Well,
because I'm from Kansas, and so I mean, there's obviously
wow.
there's people doing yeah, exactly. There's people doing art everywhere,
Mhm.
and obviously people listen to rap and stuff here, but it's not like a big
It's
thing, or
not
people
big
don't
other
really
places.
like appreciate it. People listen to rap
Yeah.
because it's the most popular genre right now, and there are people that are, and there are people that at my school, like we have a crazy art program, and there's people that do crazy awesome stuff.
Are you in school in Canada? Yeah, in Kansas.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a senior in business management right now, and then
Mm,
I live in like an entrepreneurship dorm, so I kind of do a lot
nice.
of that kind of stuff. Um, but
I'm looking
yeah,
at colleges right now, so
hmm
that's cool.
um, but yeah. So there's definitely art here, but it's nothing compared
Yeah.
to anywhere else. So I think it's really cool to kind of see um, how that influences you, and especially being near like a big mecca of culture like
Yeah.
that, and kind of seeing
Like
all
my
that
friends
stuff.
always say it's like it's just the down south of New York basically. It's like just the down south of New York. It's like everything. It's like it's the Mecca. Yeah, I just said it's the Mecca.
So then, kind of talking about all those different people, is there anybody that like? I mean, I'm sure you'd like to work with a ton of different people, but
Mm.
is there anybody from Atlanta, whether they be an artist, a rapper, just another person that anybody locally that you want to work with?
Um, locally, actually, yes. There's a Instagram artist, not artist. It's like just like an artist. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Named Nero on Instagram. I think that's his IG, but I'll send you after that. Let me see. Actually, I'll show him out real quick. He's actually from Atlanta too. Let's find his name. Guys. This is back professional. I'm sorry, but yeah,
You're good.
Nero's underscore book NEROS underscore BOOK.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really great artist. He has multiple you talk about me being like having like, evolution of styles. His style is insane. Like he has but he's one of a few artists I know who can like use a blender well, and
Uh
like
huh.
he paints. He like does 3D work, all that stuff. He's wildly talented. Cell shit already. He's wildly talented. I'm planning on linking up with him soon. He's in Atlanta. So me and him, we definitely gonna get some like cracking soon. Whether it be clothing or whatever, we're gonna get some cracking soon. Other than him, Lucas Liu too. LU. Well, Luke the Simp. That's his
Yeah,
IG.
yeah, yeah. I know him too. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get some. Oh, I actually had. We have DMs like he. We're actually supposed to do something soon. Who else? If we're not just like Atlanta figures, I definitely want to get something out with Young Thug.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It'll happen soon. It'll happen soon enough. It's
Uh
not
huh.
like a thing. It's happening soon enough.
Yeah.
Um, YSL. They actually they like my pictures, which is crazy.
Oh dang.
YSL. Just Atlanta's just everything. Artists, any artist out of Atlanta I want to work with. Should like, you know what I'm saying? Just it's a great city. It makes creates great artists.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me. So
Definitely.
outside of Atlanta, if you can ask like outside of Atlanta, I wanted like it's really weird, but I wanted to do something with Banksy. Like I don't know why, but like I don't know how it works. No one knows who he is, but
Yeah.
like I want to like work with him.
Mm-hmm.
I want to work with Skepta,
Mm.
Drake, Kanye West. This is a wild thing to say. Blue Boy, he's from Atlanta.
Yeah.
I want to work with him a lot. I want to work with him.
Yeah, Blue Boy's really cool. He's someone I've been following for
Yeah,
a while, and he's
he's
definitely
definitely
someone
like
that
putting.
like to see his evolution. Like he's doing like
It's
he
crazy.
did an HBO
Yeah.
show, Sprite deals, MCM
The man's had
collab.
to deal with like True Legend and like
Yeah,
and MCM. Like it's
True
crazy, dog.
Religion. Yeah, he's done so much just in this
He's on a
last
roll.
year, and it's like, dang. I just followed him because like he had cool clothes like a few years ago,
Yeah,
but
like
now
he
he's.
made a cool looking bag one time, and now he's on True Legend. Like it's just
Mm-hmm.
it's wild.
Yeah, so that's kind of why I wanted to like create this podcast was because there's a lot of people. I mean, like like we've talked about, like almost everyone you've mentioned, Reno, Luke, Blue Boy, like I've known, and like they're popular and have tens of thousands, most of them, but like they're not like famous or like crazy talked
Yeah,
about, and like you're not gonna see like crazy interviews on like Complex or something with them. So that's
like
kind of.
even with a Codone, like Codone's doing work for.
Hmm.
I mean, cut you off, but he's doing work for like Rolling Loud, and he's still not appreciated to the extent I feel he should be. Like an artist like him, I feel like should be out here doing like collabs with like Louis Vuitton. Honestly, like
Hmm.
I wish more big brands did things with a smaller artists like that. Honestly,
Yeah, because like I don't know if I found out about Codone before or when it was announced, but they did the thing with the brand Half Evil, like I don't know, within the
hmm
last year or something, and that was really cool because I mean that's kind of a not a I mean it's a big brand, but definitely to see like what him and Codone could do, like I think like how you said like doing it with
definitely.
a bigger brand, like he definitely could and he could kill it. Like I could see a Codone shirt, in the mall easily, and that
Yeah, definitely. Like
selling out like
the
crazy.
the Lucky merch was like that's like I wear that just like casually. Like
Hmm.
that's a big factor in like art, like just like fashion right now, and like just art and creative. Like I feel like something people like have to realize is like not every shirt you make will be worn because like I've seen great artists make shirts that just look awful. But it's
Hmm.
like you can't put that on a shirt, dog. Like, it just wouldn't work. You can't just like slap. I can't just like slap the dirty face eyes on a shirt and just like expect it to go crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it needs to be thought behind it. I feel like it has to be like it has to. It has to just look cool. Just look cool. That's
Hmm.
it. That's the main thing with art. I feel like just look cool.
Yeah, yeah, kind of like how we talked about, like not just making like just T-shirts, because I think, if you're like, there are a lot of artists that just sell their stuff and then they have like a Redbubble link and you can just buy their stuff on like
Yeah,
50 different products and it's just like the graphic put there. But you can definitely tell the difference between that and like someone that actually like designs the shirt and like the graphic together and kind of makes it a more piece and not just like I think there's a difference between like clothing and merch, and the merch
yeah,
is
for
nothing wrong
sure.
with it. It's simple if that's what you want to do. Not everyone's trying to create a fashion brand, but I definitely think the people that really push that forward and do different stuff can make a way better, more unique product. And I mean, I know we've talked about a lot of Atlanta and how that kind of is important. Do you think you're going to want to stay here and around that area for a long time? Because I mean, it's definitely a city, big area. But do you think you'd maybe want to go to like L.A. or New York or even somewhere completely different?
It's funny you mentioned that because right now, my big homie, um, I'm shouting out quick, Chris in the URL, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on IG, Chris in the URL. He's like pushing for me to like, not even just him, but everyone, like I want everyone. I'm like, all my like, creative friends are all saying like, yo, like Atlanta cool, but like if you want to get into this art world, like really into this stuff, you need to like New York is the way. Like New York is the only option really, and it's like I feel him. I probably wouldn't go to New York just because it's like I probably have to go school there,
Mm-hmm.
all that stuff. But I still like it's something about Atlanta. I just like it won't be easy. It won't be easy to leave. I know that. Like it's just this. It's Atlanta's a unique vibe. I'll say that it's definitely a unique vibe from other places. But I probably like I definitely see the appeal in artists and creatives coming from New York. So I definitely will give it a try
Mm-hmm.
for sure. But living in Atlanta, I can say that it's definitely it'll always like it's Atlanta's a great place. I don't think I'll stay here forever though, but it's definitely a great place.
Mm-hmm.
I would never move to LA though. Offer I'm not going to ever. Like
Yeah.
that's for people who already have money. That's
Yeah.
not really for me.
Yeah. Yeah. LA's kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
that's for the YouTubers. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I'm from Kansas, and so like I love Kansas. There's a part of me that's into it. It'll always,
Don't want to die here though.
yeah, yeah. But once I graduate here soon, and then I'm gonna hopefully go next year, and they have a program here I can get my master's. So I'll still be here for a little bit, at least another year or so. But then yeah, I definitely don't plan on staying in Kansas too long. That's no disrespect to Kansas people, but
Yeah.
but like I have a bunch of online friends that live in like Chicago and like actually went there over the summer and visited. And that was crazy because I mean I've been to like DC and like I've been to Denver and stuff, but Chicago was kind of like the first real like huge city I was in and like just got to walk around. And so that was kind of crazy for me, even though like I know what a city looks like, but to actually be there and really like grasp in the
Yeah.
size and how crazy it is. Because I can look out my window right now and like I see the dorm building next to me, but then I can also see a field and just look out and
Yeah,
just see everything. So that's what
like
I'm
that's it.
used
Yeah,
to.
basically it.
So, I mean, I don't know where I'm gonna end up. Maybe Chicago, maybe Atlanta, maybe somewhere completely different.
Now you
But
love it here. Pause.
but yeah, I definitely want to visit and go to all those places and travel as much as I can because that's I think one of the best ways to learn stuff.
Now, if you're into fashion, I got to take you to Wish. It's a spot here called Wish. They sell pretty cool clothes.
So yeah, that's the thing. Like around here, like the coolest place, is thrift stores and hoping I can find something. But other than that, like my dad lives in Colorado, so every time I go out there, I try to go to Denver, like go to the mall, try to get some
Hmm.
cool stuff. But yeah, other than that, for me, it's online shopping, trying to find.
Well, I've been to a mall in like not even. I've been to a mall in Ohio, and that's kind of more known in Kansas. I don't know, but
Hmm.
like just imagining what's in Kansas Mall, I don't know what's there. Like I can you like enlighten me real quick?
Well,
What's in
okay,
Kansas
in
Mall?
my like kind of smaller like college town, there's a little
Mhm.
mall. It barely even counts, but there's like a J.C. Penney's, a Bed Bath and Beyond, a
Okay.
Buckle.
A what?
A buckle. It sells like I don't know, kind of like not cowboy stuff, but kind of like
Okay, I
country,
understand mall.
like
Okay,
kind of
yeah,
higher
right.
end country stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, like a
Okay,
famous
Timberlands.
footwear, some kind of shoe store, and then like a jewelry, Chinese restaurant or like fast food, um,
Yeah, so okay,
and then
so just
random
average.
stuff. But it's the one in my like college town is really small. But then the pretty much all the other ones that are like I'd go to when I was a kid that were maybe like an hour or so away, they were a little bit bigger, but like one of them's almost abandoned now. Like half the mall is just empty stores. They don't even have the lights on. And then the other one's still okay, but it's kind of starting to get less and less stores every time that I go. But yeah, it's like Ross, J.C. Penney's, Kohl's, that kind of stuff. So
Okay, yeah.
that's where I went when I was a
Yeah,
kid.
yeah.
Was like Kohl's and Walmart. Those
No,
were.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel like I low key like neglected people like Colt, not people like not people like brands like not stores like Kohl's, Marshall, JC Penney's. Like low key, they be having like that stuff. Like I bought like this like giant Tommy Hilfiger like sweater for
Hmm.
like $50 from Marshalls. It was crazy. Like you can find some good like some grails in like those places like
Hmm.
retail shops for sure. So I can't even expect that. I rock with that.
Yeah, like you said, like Marshalls, Ross, some of those kind of like whatever secondhand stores, whatever, where they sell like excess. You can find the same basic trash, like see why no one bought it
Hmm.
stuff, but then you go,
Yeah,
3 times, and then on that third time you find like the craziest code or like some really dope shoes for like half off. And so yeah, you
exactly.
can definitely find some stuff and get some cool stuff. So I'm not saying there's nothing out here. And then like I said, thrift stores, you can get
Oh,
insane
for sure.
stuff from there.
I remember I bought a pair of I didn't want to spend a pair. I didn't want to spend money on like Air Forces to draw on them, which is dumb. But I got a pair of like Air Forces
Hmm.
from a thrift store, and I got from Depop, and I just drew on them. Like I just painted on them for like clean day, like a clean night, and I wore them to school one time, and everyone was like, "Yo, like, how much are they offer it?" Like people would ask, like it's like saying like I want those. Like they weren't saying like,
Hmm.
"Hey, yo, draw my." Like, I want those like Air Forces.
Uh,
And I was just like, bro, I need to make clothes at this point. I need to make clothes. I'm already being asked to make clothes. So it's like
hmm.
clothes they're definitely coming, but I just need to figure out like blanks, mock-ups,
Yeah.
people like yeah, it's a long process. So clothes are coming, bags are coming, all that stuff's coming, but like I just need to figure out like that stuff. It's a
It,
lot goes into it.
yeah, there's definitely a process. And that's kind of why I want to kind of do this podcast to help bring those people. Like like I said, hopefully I'll have Reno on and he can kind of talk about that and some other people that do clothes and other artists and stuff. So kind of can help aspiring artists kind of learn quicker. Because I mean, obviously you can
Yeah,
look up YouTube videos and stuff, and it's you're gonna need to go into it more. But if they can easily just kind of explain it, it might help them kind of get a quicker jump start on all that kind of stuff. Because yeah,
I wish that. Mhm.
clothes is definitely a really cool place, and yeah, I think you could do some crazy stuff, especially with some of your art and some of your newer stuff. I definitely think you could do some crazy stuff.
I appreciate that. Right now, I'm working with a little collective of mine that I call Lucky Number Seven, and the URL, which is something well made in the URL, which is like already a thing. I just gotten that, but me and my friends, my art friends, I met on Instagram. We're doing this. No, we all met on Reno's Discord server, and we're basically like kind of like moving on from that. It's like this thing called well, the name changed, but it's a local collective. We plan to make like magazines, like pieces, bags, all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. We there's a lot of things to works. A lot of things that works right now. So just stay tuned to that. Stay tuned for that stuff.
Nice, nice. Yeah, there's I don't know if you know, but I think his name on Instagram at least is like Wake Up Zuzi or something. He does
Not familiar with
magazines.
that.
I actually have it over here. But yeah, he did like a whole, book collection of like it makes it look kind of like a Japanese like early 2000s like pop magazine. And it has all
Mm.
kinds of stuff about rappers and different stuff. So I think magazines is a really cool one cuz I don't really see many people do it. Um, but like that was crazy, and I think it's the second one he's done. But it's really cool. It's like it's a hardcover book. It wasn't really that expensive. So I think more than just shirts and pants and stuff. Um, People do crazy stuff with that field and kind of getting out there. Um, so we've talked a lot about different artists and stuff and kind of like your process. But what's your favorite piece of art? I know that's a hard question probably, but what's something, even if it's something recent, something that like a long time ago that maybe you were like,
Like for
you
me, or just in period.
for you, like your favorite piece that you've created, like something you've
Oh, okay.
done.
My favorite. For me, it's hard. It's complicated because I know people love the demons. No, that wasn't Japan piece. I did this right here. I,
Mm-hmm.
this was made like 10 minutes. This was made in like 10 minutes.
Uh-huh.
I just got a picture of Japan, but like looking at my page right now, my favorite piece I did probably is gonna be like honestly right now, the Devils and Angels thing probably the way Angels and Devils. That's probably like
Mm-hmm.
my favorite piece for me right now. Um, Either that or the actually that might be it honestly. One piece that I think is really underrated in my thing. This is very like selfish, like not underrated, but like
Uh-huh.
the collage work I did. I don't know if it's showing up, but
Yeah. That one was crazy. I was kind of going over earlier looking at just all your past stuff. And that one I thought was really crazy. Just cuz there's just so much on it. Like it was crazy.
yeah, that piece of journal was like, cause at first it wasn't that full. It was just like half this screen. But like I showed it to my friend. It was like my friend Lamsey. It was I think it was Lambs and Jordy, and it was like there was like yo keep going. Like it's like until you physically like you can't think of anything else to draw. Keep like adding shit on there. I said I bet. 'Cause the entire purpose of the drawing was just like it's kind of just satire on how the art world views the idea of plagiarism and like art theft and all that shit. Not me cursing your podcast fault, but like it's just like kind of like this is a way to make fun of that stuff because it's like nothing's wholly unique.
Hmm.
Like just do whatever you want. Honestly, not saying steal my art, but it's just a fun piece of me. That's my main thing when it comes to making art is just having fun. I think lately I've been so hung up on like, oh, this piece has to mean this. This piece has to have this
Hmm.
crazy like style and this because color scheme has to be wild. It's just like just enjoy your process. Honestly, because I remember talking to Reno. I showed him a piece of mine that's deleted now. It's dark. It's like not. This is deleted.
Hmm.
It was a really bad piece of mine. It was like a phantom drawing, and it was he just said like, "Yo, it feels like you're trying to make art, hoping that it'll attract hype beast, and that's not a good thing you want to be like."
Uh-huh.
And I was like, because he like his entire thing was like, "Yo, just make art that you like. Just make art that you feel like you'd buy if it was in the gallery or something like that. Just make art that like
Hmm.
period, just that you have fun doing." And right now, that's just what I'm like trying to do right now. That's a piece that reflects that is like my orange and green thing. It's right here.
Hmm.
That piece. Because it just says like we're doing a job. It's like it's just like standing there doing nothing. So it's be at peace with doing things that you enjoy. Basically, that's my entire motto right now.
So yeah, I watched a interview recently with Tyler the Creator from I don't know a year or two ago or recently, and yeah, he kind of just talked about he was like people always ask me like like give me advice, like what should I do, what should I do, and he's like, just do what you love, and I think
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing because if you love it and you're really passionate about it, then you're going to create the best product. And yeah, it might not
Yeah.
attract the most hype beasts or get the most likes at the time, but in the long
You want,
run,
you want to get all the V-Lone fans to get you. You know what I'm saying?
but yeah, betting on yourself in the long run, I think, is the best thing to do. So then, kind of talking about the future, what is something you want to do maybe this year? Do you have any big goals? And then where do you see yourself even further down the line, like 5 or 10 years? In a dream scenario, what are you doing?
Mhm.
Who have you worked with? What's kind of the plan?
I mean, when you say dream, I kind of look at it as just like accurate predictions. It's not even a dream. I feel like I was talking to my art teacher the other day. She was like who, if you could, who was like a celebrity you'd work with, you'd like talk to? And I said I can't even say them because I feel like I'm gonna meet these people one day. You know what I'm saying? Like so in like a 2 year span, I want to have a shop up, like just like a pop up shop somewhere
Mm-hmm.
with like either that or like a gallery. But I don't think galleries are that important, so I don't know. But I want to have a shop somewhere people can walk in and see and just see my art, see my pieces, all that stuff. That's one thing. I want to like. I want to sell not shirts. I want to sell pants. Like I want to make cool, like really cool pants designs. I
Mm-hmm.
want tote bags, like shoulder bag, all that stuff, hats. That's a little further that now because I guess that takes money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to all that stuff, I wanna have my own publication, like a Genius comp. I want to have my own like that.
Mm-hmm.
That too. But looking a little farther into the future, I definitely want to have I always say I want two brands. One for like just like making cool like pieces and like clothing and like
Mm-hmm.
just swaggy stuff. But like the other one, I wanted to be more of a for a cause. I wanted to because when you think of these like major cities like L.A., New York, Atlanta, one thing they all have in common is like there's a wild like a wealth gap. That's
Yeah.
not the right word for it, but like
Mm-hmm.
there's like there's a spot in Atlanta where it's just like a block full of people who are homeless. Like there's like tents in the middle of highways.
Mm-hmm.
There's it's ugly, but I want to have a brand called the Atlanta Food Kitchen, which basically I want all the proceeds from that brand to go into getting people who are in these dire situations, like whether it be shelter, clothing, food, all that stuff. I want to go having. I want all that stuff to go towards having them just live a better life. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? I feel like
Mm-hmm.
because I know me being like I grew up really privileged, and I was still like I wasn't like eating out of like golden spoons or something like that, but I was
Uh-huh.
still like I had a bed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like so, I definitely want to have. I want to give people like who didn't grow up like me but have similar aspirations like me a fighting chance. You know what I'm saying? Like kids who are abandoned, kids who just don't have a home, even adults. You know what I'm saying? I just want to have a brand that goes towards helping people who's unfortunate to me in my city. So not even just my city, but just like everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's a brand that helps others. And though the other brand, Dirty Face, is just getting swaggy. But yeah, I want to have some of this.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Cause yeah, when like I said, this was originally like a T-shirt company, and I wanted to do stuff where like every drop it would be like with like a different charity or different thing, and kind of work on
Mm-hmm.
supporting that, like however much proceeds would go to that, and then kind of do events or maybe collaborations with these stuff. And so I do still want to do the clothing, and maybe I'll still do all that stuff. But I definitely also want to use the podcast. It's kind of like a similar thing, whether it be to just raise money or do some event or
Mm-hmm.
do something with some of the different people I talk to. But yeah, definitely giving back is a huge thing because I mean, even though I live in a small area, like the town that I'm kind of from and was born in, there's definitely a big like drug problem, and so like I've seen,
Yeah.
like my mom's a teacher, so like I know, like kind of how some of the kids are with like some of their parents and some of the situations that they come from, even some of my friends that I've had, so I want to be able to help those kids. I mean, even the parents, and because that's kind of the root of the problem, and so I think wanting to do something like that is super awesome. I mean, and it's kind of nice to, like you said, have like the dirty face, kind of the do your own stuff,
Yeah,
whatever swag, everything, and then kind of the more not more serious, but kind of the more like,
yeah.
okay, this is a direct goal. Our goal is to help as many people as possible. So I think that's
Let me know both brands will be fired. Like
yeah, yeah,
you feel both brands.
yeah.
This is a given with me. Just like it will be wearable. Like you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying. Like I also want to give like clothes. Like a lot. I see like people who give away clothes to the homeless, and I'm gonna just say a lot of clothes we give to the homeless is not. It's kind of trash.
Hmm.
Like not saying you just like can't Louis Vuitton. Like homeless people want to dress too. Like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like give them. I want to have them wearing nicer fabrics, maybe thicker coats. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying. Also just
definitely.
like you know what I'm saying. I feel like I've seen people like give out t-shirts to homeless, and it's like sheer thin t-shirts, and it's
Yeah,
like bro, it's like 20 degrees outside right now. Which is like
yeah,
I want to give out. I want people to have. I want everyone to be able to appreciate and experience great quality things. Basically,
hmm,
that's the entire thing of my brand.
yeah. Because I think even just giving out quality T-shirts and stuff can really help. Because I mean, a big thing is like being clean is really hard to do, and so like it's
Yeah,
hard to get a job when you don't have clean clothes or nice clothes. So like when you have a thin, dirty coat that someone gave you, it's kind of hard when you don't have anything,
yeah,
to be able to do that. So I think that's really cool. Because like there's people I've seen on like TikTok and Instagram where all they do is go and like give people like they'll shave them, give them a haircut, and they look so much more clean, I guess, and kind of could really help with like that process of getting a job and kind of getting help and getting some of that
yeah,
stuff. So I think
exactly.
that's really important, not just to get as many super thin shirts out as possible, but to actually get
Yeah,
something cool. And then like you said, not just being like a logo on a shirt, it'll actually be wearable and something cool. So it'll be really cool to like wear a shirt and I know like, hey, this shirt's not only dope and super cool, it also is going to a good cause and really helping. So I think that's a really cool
exactly.
idea, and I really like that. What do you think the biggest challenge with either like that, or any of your other ideas and dreams and stuff? What do you think the biggest challenges will be, and how do you think you'll overcome those?
Um, it's probably two roadblocks for me, and the first probably being just being a young artist, not being so known. I don't have a wild plug. I can't just call up ASAP Rocky real quick, give me a quick sponsorship with that. So just like growing my own brand, that's gonna be a big hurdle to get to. And the second one probably being myself, honestly. I feel like it's getting better nowadays, but like I go through a lot of episodes where it's just like I just don't feel like making art. I don't feel inspired. I don't feel cause I feel just apathetic towards the entire process of art making. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? With dealing with school, college, go to college soon. Just like it's mental all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And just like wanting to wait. Like my teacher always says, like when you're out of school, no one will force you to make art. No one will like actively say, "Hey, yo, chase your dreams." It's like you need to like go for your dreams and like all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But my main thing right now was just like learning to follow. Just don't lose hope. Just don't lose inspiration. Keeping inspiration, keeping hope, keeping confidence. Because a lot of days, I have a wild size what's like a vault.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my vault is giant right now. I don't post half the art. I don't post like half the art I draw. Like
Mm-hmm.
half of my like Instagram page. If I didn't archive a thing, because it would be like 1,000 posts right now. Like easily, like
Uh-huh.
it would be a long catalog because I started my page like in quarantine, which is like last year. It'll be
Mm-hmm.
a large catalog. I draw a lot, so yeah. My main thing is just confidence, hope, just getting, just wanting, just just like as an artist, just like just wanting to like innovate more. I want to create change. I want to learn how to just confidence type things, type stuff. Pretty
Mm-hmm.
much that's my answer.
So yeah, I definitely get that because I mean, like I said, I'm not really an artist in the basic sense, but I've been super into music and clothes and artists and stuff, and kind of that huge Instagram scene kind of really helped me grow that interest and I couldn't really figure out a way to do it. Like yeah, for my classes, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a clothing brand, but like I never really knew how I would
Mm-hmm.
actually do it, like design wise and stuff, and like I didn't want to have to just pay everybody to design this and like end up, going broke just so I could say I have a clothing company. Um, but yeah, I definitely think even when it's something that you're passionate about and something that you love doing, it is still hard. I mean, especially art, creating is easy and hard because it's just really, time consuming and kind of creating something that you really like. Because I mean, you're your toughest critic. So I think that
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
that's one of the hardest things. But yeah, definitely overcoming that, getting more confidence. Because like I had thought about doing a podcast like right before COVID, I think happened, like the beginning of that
Mm-hmm.
year, because I got this like nicer mic, and I was like, oh, maybe I should do something, but then kind of, pushed it off, and then COVID happened, and I was like, oh, maybe now that I have all this time at home, I'll do it, but then just never got into it. Was like, I've never really edited, like my friends edit, I don't know how I would do that, so I just kind of pushed it off. But then, like I had mentioned earlier, I edited a podcast for my friend, and so I kind of got into seeing the process of it, was like, oh, this, editing, I can do that. It's not too crazy complicated. Um, and like, it was really something I thought, oh, I can do this. And so then,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I kind of came up with the name, thought of it, reached out to you for the awesome logo. That was super simple, super awesome. Appreciate you again for that.
No
Um,
problem.
and then, yes, try to set it up and space it out. Because
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I'm in school, so I'm trying to make sure I can, create stuff, um, push stuff out, create quality content, and be still somewhat consistent. But then also still focus on school and stuff because I
Yeah.
graduate in May and I'd like to keep it that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely think working on confidence and stuff, and that's something you just got to work on every day. And it builds up over time. Because I was a completely different person when I graduated high school. And I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
in a year or two I'll be a completely different person. And that's awesome. That's a good thing. But other than that, do you want to kind of plug your socials? Any last thing you want to
Oh,
say?
definitely. I'm for it. Yeah. If you want to plug in a few friends of mine, really dope, real
Mm-hmm.
creators. Uh, on Instagram, fuck.cap, like FUCK period CAP. Great artist. She doesn't post anything. Um, Main the URL at main your eight at MADEN the URL. It's a really cool like collective, just group. Awesome place, awesome creators in that place. You know what I'm saying? Who else? Definitely want to plug in my friends, a friend of mine, Lamsey, on Instagram. I think he goes by 10,000. I think, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
10,000 XL, like the number like 10000 XL. Find Jordy. Yeah, it's named Find Jordy. FINDJORDY. Helped me a lot. He's helping me out with a lot of like editing stuff right now.
Mm.
So shout out him for that. He's actually one of the reasons on trivia. My work was actually featured in a gallery or an exhibit of some
Uh
sorts
huh.
in Ireland because of him. So shout out to
Oh
him for
whoa,
that.
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy. Um, Shout out to you, most foremost, for getting me on getting me on this platform for sure. A friend of mine, Cryptic on Instagram, KRYPTIC. He's a friend of mine from school. He makes clothes, all that stuff. He's really cool. Um, yeah, that's probably it. I'm trying to like go on for like 5 hours, giving out shout outs, shout out mom, all that stuff. You know, just shout out to art. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Cool stuff. Also, my Twitter is same as my Instagram, Dirty Face Stones.
Gotcha. So sweet, and yeah, I'll tag all those people in the comments, and then I'll have yours up on the screen and stuff. But other than that, I want to say again, thank you for the logo. Really appreciate it.
No
Were
problem.
super easy to work with, and it turned out amazing. But thank you for coming. I really appreciate the talk we had, and really got to learn a lot about your process and kind of art in general and how awesome it is. So appreciate you for coming on.
Appreciate you for having me.